You want to get yourself the ultimate hybrid, so you're planning on a Prius. But what sort of numbers can you realistically expect on the highway? Today we're going to find out. Hey everybody, it's Charlie from Daily Motor. Today we've got the real-world highway fuel economy test of the 2021 Toyota Prius. We're going to head out on the highway and do 50 miles out and 50 miles back, averaging 70 miles per hour to get you a realistic highway fuel economy number for this hybrid. Before we get started, let's hop out and take a quick look at it. Not all-wheel drive, not super fancy or anything, just the good old classic Toyota Prius. Here in the specific 2020 special edition, rocking some black wheels, black badges, nice red paint. This thing is no frills, but for someone who just needs a good car that works and gets excellent fuel economy, the Prius might be the ticket. So if you want to see more on the car, we've got a review of its 6-speaker audio system and a DM test drive. So why do we do this test? Well, the EPA's highway fuel economy test, which gives this Prius 50 miles per gallon highway, that test only averages 48 miles per hour. And we know there are people who take their vehicles on long, higher speed road trips and would like to know what sort of numbers they can really get on the highway. Not only that, but hybrids don't tend to do as well at higher speed tests as they do with a little bit more stop and go, a little bit less air resistance. So it'll be interesting to see if we can actually eke out 50 MPG. So in order to test that, we're heading on over to the gas station here. We're going to fill up, go out and do 100 miles, come back, fill up at the same pump using the same 3-click fueling method to get our result. A few things to note for today. Outside temperature is 73 degrees Fahrenheit. That ought to warm up a little bit as we continue the test. Tire pressures have been set to their door placard, 33 psi front, 32 psi rear in the cold, or I should say ambient temp. And we are going to run the climate control at 73 degrees auto. Now yes, this will use the air conditioning, but that's how people really drive in the real world, and without it we would roast. So let's hop out, fill it up. 4.052 gallons going in for our initial fill. Before we actually start the engine, we're going to reset our GPS and our trip computer, set our climate control in eco mode, our drive mode in eco mode as well, and we're ready to begin. We're going to take it nice and easy over to the highway. It's about half a mile away. Pick up the test from there. The goal of this test is not to hypermile. We're not trying to get the best fuel economy number possible, but rather a realistic number for someone just driving on the highway. So in order to do that, we're getting up to highway speed at a decent pace. You do kind of have to push into this little powertrain to get it up to 70. We're going to set our cruise control to a GPS indicated 73 miles per hour. This should allow us to average 70 over the whole test. Looks like the Prius's speedometer is reading a bit high. So if we set at 75, is that going to put us at 73? Yep, looks like it should. We do have a lane keeping assist, steering assist even. Let's see, how does that work? Oh, it's actually keeping us in lane quite well. Initial highway observations, not particularly quiet. You hear that van going by. There's a little bit of road and wind noise, but not too bad. We're going to continue on with the rest of the test and catch up with you at the end. In the meantime, enjoy this time lapse of the entire trip. Coming into the end of the highway fuel economy test here in the Prius, I gotta say I am impressed with what we're seeing. 51.8 miles per gallon on the car's trip computer. And if that turns out to be true, if we get a decent fill on this car, which we've had some issues with Toyotas in the past, but if we do get a proper number and it does come out to 50 or above, I respect Toyota for getting a good, solid real world number for their EPA test. And you see so many cars, especially hybrids, that you get these excellent numbers from the EPA, and then you get out in the real world and you actually go on the highway, and that's not what you're seeing. But this test, we've averaged 70 miles per hour. We did just fall down to 69. I think it was because we were stuck behind a camper getting back up to speed there. But we were doing 70 for most of the test on the average, and still getting 52 miles per gallon. So I know this is like ideal temperature. It's 78 degrees. We're eco on the AC and everything, but still impressed. So I'm comfortable. The lane keeping assist is fine. It's not class leading. I did have a few times where it sort of yanked me out of lane or didn't really follow, and you got to touch it a lot. And the adaptive cruise control is too conservative. So as you're starting to get up to a vehicle, it slows you down. So you got to kind of pay attention so you can get around people. But all in, the numbers we're getting are really impressive, and I'm looking forward to getting back to the pump and seeing what we get. 52.3 MPG at the pump. Let's hop out and fill it up. 2.009 gallons going in for our final fill. 105.4 divided by 2.009 is giving us 52.4 miles per gallon. Ever so close to rounding up to 53, but I think 52 is a very, very solid number. And again, mad props to Toyota for doing it right, giving us accurate numbers. 52 miles per gallon times the 11.3 gallon fuel tanks, giving you an effective highway cruising range of 580 miles here in the 2021 Toyota Prius. Awesome. Well, hey, I was nervous because I was thinking, is the Prius just going to make a good city car? Are you really going to see those numbers if you're road tripping? But if you do want to get a fuel sipper, turns out the Prius is good for both. Not only that, but throughout all of our driving, we've almost exclusively been getting 50 miles per gallon, even while ragging on this thing. So it might not be very fast, but it sure is efficient. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And if you want to see more on the Toyota Prius, check the links in the description. And we'll see you on the next one. I'm Charlie from Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.